everyone, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to do a 24-hour reading vlog, which is so exciting because I haven't done one of these since I believe it was July of 2020. So it's been 2 years since I've done one of these, which is kind of surprising because I always have so much fun doing these vlogs, but it's also the type of content that I always just kind of put on the back burner when I'm thinking of content that I want to put out for you guys. One of the reasons why I'm doing this, of course, is because it had been so long, and also my sleep schedule has been absolute poopy lately. I have gotten into the habit of going to sleep at like 6 a.m. and then sleeping until like 3 p.m. And that is just unacceptable, especially because these next couple of weeks I am going to have a lot of long work days where I'm gonna have to go in at 8 p.m. and then be done maybe around like 3:30. So I need to, like, desperately need to get back onto a somewhat normal sleep schedule. So I'm hoping that doing this vlog will kind of reset my internal clock. And so right now it's like 8:23, so I will start reading at 8:30 and then I will end this readathon at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow night, right? So I'm hoping by the time that I'm done reading tomorrow night, I will definitely be tired enough to go to bed pretty soon after that, and then I'll wake up at a reasonable hour, hopefully before noon the next day. So we will just have to see, but nonetheless, I am so excited to be reading for the next 24 hours. Of course, I'll take some little breaks here and there because I don't want to burn myself out on just reading, but I'm in the middle of 2 books. One in particular I am absolutely obsessed with, and so I'm going to talk about that one first. That is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. First of all, I love the vibe of this cover. I feel like it perfectly matches the vibe of the story inside. This is a high fantasy romance novella. I think it's just about 180 pages. I'm currently like 44% of the way through, and the vibe is like everything, because this is like a cozy fantasy romance. So this is about our heroine, Cinnamon. She is a part of a family. They run a cinnamon farm. And this is, like I said, it's a high fantasy, so it takes place in a world that is completely different from our own. And so yeah, they run this cinnamon farm together, and because of that, like, all of her siblings are named after different spices. So her name is literally Cinnamon Hot Pepper. They all believe in this goddess. Meanwhile, we have Fallon, our hero, who is a demon who shows up, and he tells Cinnamon that this goddess is not who everybody thinks she is. She's actually evil and has been enslaving the demons that live on an island kind of right next to theirs. And so now Fallon and Cinnamon are on this quest to take this goddess down, and this is so freaking good so far because Cinnamon, like, she's so freaking funny. Like, the way that she reacts to and interacts with Fallon is absolutely hilarious because he is a demon, so he does not know nor understand her way of life. And he's also just kind of a mischievous and flirtatious demon as well. Like, he has already decided that he wants Cinnamon as his mate for life. And Cinnamon, on the other hand, is like, what is happening? Like, but it's just like so funny, so good so far. Like, I can already tell you I'm going to give this 5 stars. For me, a lot of the time, like, if the vibe of a book is just right, I'm going to give it 5 stars. I'm also in the middle of another book because I was cleaning my house for a good chunk of the day yesterday, and there is no audiobook for this. No, there is an audiobook out now, but I could only find it on Audible, and I didn't want to spend a credit on it because it's only like a 7-hour audiobook. So I needed an audiobook to listen to while I was cleaning yesterday, so I started The Push by Ashley O'Drain. This is a mystery thriller that I've heard really good things about. Specifically, I remember Sam from Sam Reads a Little talking about this in her video all about like her favorite thrillers. So this essentially is about the cycle of abuse between mothers and daughters through several generations. So we have our main character, I believe her name is Blythe. The main part of the story, I would say, is focused on Blythe and how she became pregnant with her daughter, gave birth to her daughter, and has always struggled raising her. And now we're seeing that her daughter seems to maybe be a psychopath. Oops. I kind of love stories about like bad or evil kids. I don't know what that says about me, but I love thrillers that center around that idea. But also a big part of the story centers around like Blythe's mom, Cecilia, and how Cecilia used to abuse Blythe, and then how Cecilia's mother, Etta, used to abuse her. So like I said, it's this cycle of abuse. So it's definitely a darker read, a heavier read. Thrillers tend to be that way. Also, we don't have the most likable characters. Once again, that's pretty common in thrillers. And I'm really liking it so far. I'm on page 119, that's chapter 35. That is just about, I believe, 40% of the way through. So I'm definitely gonna knock out these 2 books throughout this vlog. I'm gonna jump back into that time I got drunk and saved a demon though, because that's the one that I'm way more excited about finishing. This one's solid, like I said, but like that novella is absolutely everything. And then in terms of what else I want to read for this vlog, I'm kind of in the mood to pick up some graphic novels. I have some on my shelves here. So we'll just see like what specifically I'm in the mood for. It is 4:15 a.m. exactly. I have finished 2 books, both books that I talked about in my first update. So I'm actually gonna talk about The Push first because I literally just finished this like 15 minutes ago, so it's very fresh in my mind. I really like this. I gave it 4 stars. My main thing is that it is marketed as a thriller, and I can kind of understand why, because there are a few moments and a few scenes that will make you like gasp. But other than that, like, this is not a mystery thriller novel to me. I would categorize this as like a psychological domestic drama. There are no major plot twists by any means. You know, that to me tells me that a book is a thriller when there are at least like a couple of really solid plot twists and you know, a few like really suspenseful, really like fast-paced scenes. I feel like this book goes at a pretty steady pace the whole time. Like I said, there are some moments that are anxiety inducing and all of that, but for the most part, yeah, it's definitely much more about like intergenerational trauma. And I'm actually gonna read you guys an excerpt from a review that I found on Goodreads, because I am not a very eloquent person. I am not very good at discussing themes of books and things like that. Like, I can just tell you if I liked something, you know? But I thought this excerpt was very accurate. It's a very complex portrait of a mother who is in turn a victim and her own worst enemy. Is she so deep in postnatal depression that she can't be the mother her daughter needs? Or is she being wrongfully dismissed as hysterical because she is a woman and her instincts go untrusted again and again? It doesn't matter if you quote unquote figure it out, because that's not the point. Either option is devastating. And that's another aspect we see explored in the different generations, from Etta to Cecilia to Blythe to Violet, is each of these women's experiences as mothers and having postnatal issues. I think all 3 of them dealt with postnatal depression. I'm sure that is something that is somewhat genetic. I don't really know, but you can tell that each of them goes through that, and each of them tries to cope with it in different ways or tries to live with it in different ways. Definitely go into this knowing there's gonna be some emotional and physical abuse going on. You know, this is a heavy book. I don't know if this was the best book for me to do for this kind of readathon when I'm just trying to read things quickly and have a good time, because like that's not what this book is. Like, it's a short book though, it's right about 300 pages, and at the end of the day I did fly through the audiobook, but it's also just such a heavy book that I felt very bogged down by it, and I had to take breaks every 50 pages or so. I would definitely be mindful of going into this if you yourself are a mother, or if you have lost a child in any way, because that is also something that happens in here, is loss of a child. Like, yeah, it's a lot. So then in terms of the other book that I finished, I did finish That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. I of course gave this 5 stars. This was just an utter delight from start to finish. It's like a cozy fantasy romance, like I said, and I feel like the author just struck the perfect balance between this really interesting fantasy world with a really interesting magic system. There's all kinds of different creatures and demons and things like that, but none of that overshadowed the fantastic romance between Fallon and Cinnamon. It was just all balanced very well. This book was funny as hell. No pun intended, because there's demons involved. But this book was so freaking funny. I am obsessed with Kimberly Lemming's sense of humor. Like, that alone makes me want to read everything that she's ever written. There is a novella in this series. I think it's like a Christmas wintry themed novella, and then she came out with the next full novella of this series, which is That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf. So I'm very excited to read that one as well. At some point, I was just so obsessed with the dynamic between Fallon and Cinnamon from the beginning. I mean, we just love a hero who's like, I want you as my mate. Okay, thanks, bye. And he loves messing with her and flirting with her. And Cinnamon is definitely freaked out about being with a demon. And they're also dealing with this quest that they're on. And yeah, the vibe was just perfect. It was just there. Highly, highly, highly recommend this for sure. Okay, so like I said, it's just about 4:20 a.m. right now. And so I have a lot of options for things that I want to read next. I definitely want to read some graphic novels for this, because my goal is to just read as many things as possible, to be quite honest, and I just want to have a fun time with what I'm reading. I also haven't read a graphic novel in probably well over a year at this point, and I own quite a few of them. So let me show you this stack of graphic novels. Ooh, this is heavy, but this is what we are looking at. So I have these 2 little comic books by Nathan W. Pyle. We have Strange Planet and then Stranger Planet. And so you guys have seen these comics on like Instagram, I'm sure, but that's like the art style we're dealing with. But yeah, this is basically just like a series of really cute comics. They're like really short little, I guess, vignettes of these little aliens and how they deal with different things like emotions and pets and nature and things like that. I also have another alien related graphic novel. This is Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too by Jomny Soon. And so this is about an alien who's sent to study Earth, always feeling apart even among the other aliens. Jomny feels at home for the first time among creatures of Earth. And so I think this is kind of similar to Strange Planet in that, like, this is just a very like whimsical way of exploring topics of life, basically, and probably the meaning of life through this cute little alien. So I have owned this graphic novel for years. I bought this from Book Outlet probably all the way back in 2018, so I thought that this would be like a good opportunity to just get this read. Then I also have this beautiful graphic novel version of the Phantom of the Opera This is by Kavan Scott and Jose Maria Beroy. Not quite sure how to pronounce the illustrator's name, but this was given to me by Samantha from Books with Samantha. I love her so much. This was a complete surprise to me. She just sent this to me for Valentine's Day this year. And so this is just, you know, a graphic novel version of the musical that we all know and love. And this is gonna be a very quick read as well. It's very, very short. So I'm sure I'll read that. And then I have, ooh, these are heavy. I have volumes 1 and 2 of Lore Olympus by either Rachel Smith or Rachel Smythe. I'm gonna have to look that up. But this is volume 1 right here. By the way, if you don't know, this is a webcomic series that has been adapted into like full volumes. And then I did get my pre-order of volume 2, I think yesterday. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. So this is stunning. Yeah, I think I might binge this because I'm just feeling the vibe. I love the art style, and like, who doesn't love Hades and Persephone? But I've just heard nothing but phenomenal things about this series. So really looking forward to checking this out. And then, so yeah, I think I'll read a couple of these graphic novels and then come back with another update in a few hours. Okay, it is 11:46 a.m. on Monday still. And I have finished 2 things since the last time I spoke with you guys. So I read 2 graphic novels. The first one was the Phantom of the Opera one that I was telling you guys about. I just had a good time with this. I gave it 4 stars. I really like this art style. Like I said, it's an adaptation of the musical, so obviously they use dialogue and lyrics from the show, and so while I was reading this, I was singing the songs and just vibing and having a good time. So yeah, not much to say about this at all. 4 stars, a fun time. It definitely made me want to rewatch the movie, or the there's a 25th anniversary performance that was filmed starring Sierra Boggess and Ramin Karimloo that I low-key, high-key want to rewatch now. Then I went ahead and read Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too by Johnny Soon, or Johnny Sun, I'm pretty sure it's Soon. And this was just like fine. I'll show you like an idea of what like the art style is. It's just like very simplistic but like very adorable. There were some really like interesting and thought-provoking quotes in here, basically about like the meaning of life. That's kind of what this whole vibe is. And I think though I probably would have loved this a lot more had I read this when I was a teenager, or even younger than that. Like, that's definitely, you know, the demographic that this was written for. Yeah. So for me, it was just fine. I'm not convinced that this is like a must-read graphic novel, but I am glad that I eventually got to it. Like I said, this book has been sitting on my shelves since like 2018. So yeah, I've read those 2 graphic novels, and then I did decide to get started on My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. Tessa Bailey's newest release. This is a murder mystery and a spicy romance all in one. We love that vibe. There's the back cover. So basically, I have been reading since, so the last time I talked to you guys was what, around about like 4 a.m. Then I was like reading, taking short breaks, reading, taking short breaks until I want to say like 8:30. And then I had to take a nap. As much as I really wanted to stay up this whole 24 hours to really reset my sleep schedule, yeah, I was fading, and I was fading fast by 8:30. You know, it was to the point where I couldn't read anymore. I couldn't really retain information. I was just exhausted. And so I did nap from about like 9 to like 11:20. And I'm still feeling a bit tired, but I am glad that I took that nap ultimately. Like, it needed to happen. But before I went to sleep, I did read the first 70 pages of this. So now I'm on chapter 6. That is just about 24% of the way through. So yeah, this is about our main character, Taylor. She goes on vacation to Cape Cod with her brother. They're staying at this like Airbnb-like place. They call it Stay In is the company. They find a body in the laundry room. And so the sister of the guy whose body they found, she hires Miles, who is a bounty hunter, who is our hero. We've got this grumpy bounty hunter, and then we have Taylor, our heroine, who's a second grade teacher, who is kind of like an amateur sleuth. And so she's just kind of like getting in the way of his investigation a bit and like getting under his skin. It's definitely a bit of like a grumpy sunshine dynamic, I would say. And I'm enjoying this so far. My main thing is that I bought the audiobook. I used an Audible credit, and I'm liking the audiobook. I'm not loving it though because of the male narrator they casted. So Miles, like I said, he's a bounty hunter. He's supposed to be very tall, a very big dude, covered in tattoos, just like a rough looking bounty hunter, right? But the guy they casted to narrate his POV literally gives the vibes of like a middle-aged insurance salesman or real estate agent. Like, so not the vibe of Miles at all. And so when I was listening to like his first chapter, he literally said one sentence, and I stopped the audiobook and I sat there for a second and I literally said out loud, I think I hate this. Oof. Let me know if you've listened to the audiobook and if you feel the same way, because it is a bit jarring, but I am liking the vibe overall. It's definitely a really great romance to read during the summer. That's the whole point of this, is that it's during, you know, the main character's summer vacation with her brother. And then there's this murder mystery going on. So yeah, I will definitely report back later with more thoughts. I will most likely finish this today because this book has about like 290 pages. And like I said, I'm on page 71. And I think I have about like 6.5 hours left of the audiobook. And I listen to audiobooks at like at least 3 to 3.3 times speed. So it's definitely possible that I'll finish this today. And then I am thinking that I could at least also read volume 1 of Lore Olympus. Maybe, we'll have to see. I mean, it's a graphic novel. Like it looks, you know, kind of thick, but it's a graphic novel. Like, I will fly through this. It is just about 6:30 p.m. Still Monday, obviously. I am calling this readathon now. So I'm calling it 2 hours early, but that is okay because I finished 6 books today. So I'm very happy with how this readathon went. But first, before I wrap up my last couple of books that I read, I actually have a lot of book mail that I want to show you guys. So first off, I got this lovely little package from Lenora Bell, featuring her newest release, which is Duke Most Wicked. It's also signed, so I can show you that as well. So this is an ARC. This is set to come out. It says, "For your reading pleasure, stay wicked, XOXO Lenora." This is coming out September 27th. I'm really excited about this book because I've seen a couple of my friends give this 5 stars, and I have read a Lenora Bell book before. I enjoyed it. I didn't absolutely love it, but this one just sounds really good. It's about a duke who has like 5 younger sisters, and so he basically needs to marry for money to support them. Meanwhile, he's falling in love with Viola, who is his sister's music teacher. So obviously she is not a wealthy woman. So that sounds really, really good. And in the package, she included a MAC lipstick. It's their retro matte lipstick in Dangerous, which is a red color, of course, to match the cover of this book. And so I'm definitely gonna feature this in my next Get Ready With Me style wrap up. So excited for that. And then she also included a magnet of Love is a Rogue, which is book 1 of this series. This is the book that I have read from her, and I enjoyed it. And she also gave me a little card. It says, "Beyond Grateful." She said, "Hi Rachel, hope you enjoy my Wicked Duke." This releases September 27th, like I said. So thank you so much to Lenora Bell for sending this amazing package my way. Then I have another package from a publisher. This is specifically from Forever Romance, and specifically from Dana, a friend of mine. I'll link her Instagram down below. She works for Forever Romance, and she sent me a finished copy of Nobody's Princess by Erica Ridley, book 3 in the Wild Winchester series. If you guys have been following me for a while, you would know that I absolutely adored book 2 of this series, which is Perks of Loving a Wallflower. So I am pumped for this. This is Graham's story. Yeah, I have no idea what the plot is actually about, but I'm excited nonetheless. And then she also sent me a finished copy of Always Be My Duchess by Amelie Howard. By the way, Nobody's Princess comes out July 26th. So definitely be on the lookout for that. This comes out July 12th, and I did get a physical ARC of this some months back from Dana. So thank you so much to Dana and Forever Romance for sending me this amazing package. Like, it's still surreal to me that I'm starting to get books for free from publishers and from authors. Like, what is life? Like, that is just like absolutely amazing and bonkers. I also placed a couple orders with Amazon, and they all came in today. So I'll show that as well. So I have Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. I have read this book. This is book 3 in her Twisted series. You can definitely read these as standalones. This is an enemies with benefits romance, and it's fantastic. I gave it 5 stars. And then I also got Twisted Lies, which is book 4, the 4th and final book of the series. This just came out maybe last week or the week before. This is gonna be Christian and I think Stella. Yeah, Stella's story. Very excited about this one. This one is this fake dating? I think this is fake dating, but I'm excited. This is a chunky book, but I mean, honestly, so was Twisted Hate, so I'm excited nonetheless. Then I have volumes 1, 2, and 4 of Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. Volume 3 has been back ordered for a while, so my copy is actually supposed to come in a couple weeks, which is exciting. But I'll show each individual volume. So this is volume 1. That's what that looks like. Absolutely adorable. So I got copies for myself because the Netflix series came out. This is volume 2. And so I decided it was finally time for me to read this series for myself. And the wait list from my library was just crazy long, and I understand because of the Netflix series. So I just bought copies for myself, and this is volume 4, which is the latest volume. As far as I know, there is going to be 1 more volume, and then the series will be complete. I'm pretty sure I heard that from some, like a reputable source. So really excited to have these in my collection. I actually kind of planned on reading volume 1 for this readathon, but I am just so tired and burnt out at the moment that, yeah, that's why I'm ending the readathon a little early. And then finally, last but certainly not least, I got the complete Jane Austen Word Cloud Classics editions. So these editions are like those flexi-bound editions. Like, they're not quite paperbacks, not quite hardbacks either. And so this is just Persuasion. But I've been meaning to delve into Jane Austen's works because so many romance authors of today are inspired by Jane Austen. And I've also read a ton of retellings of like Pride and Prejudice and Emma and Sense and Sensibility. So it's like well past time that I finally read these classics for myself. And I thought that these were just beautiful additions. So let me wrap up the last 2 books that I read for this readathon. I read volume 1 of Lore Olympus, and I gave this 5 stars. I thought that this was absolutely fantastic. It's a really great Hades and Persephone retelling. The art style is absolutely stunning. I'll just show you this page to give you like a little bit of an idea of the style. And I just love like the vibrant colors. Like, it's just stunning. And this was just very quick for me to get through. I probably read this within like an hour and a half. And this is the first 25 episodes of the webtoon or the webcomic. And yeah, I also really liked that it's not just about Hades and Persephone. We also get like Eros and Psyche in this, and Artemis is Persephone's best friend. There were some other characters as well that were featured quite a bit throughout. I do want to say that there is a sexual assault that occurs towards the very end of this volume. It's not graphic, it's more that you're in the mindset of the person who is being violated, essentially. And so, not gonna lie, that was tough to read. So I just wanted to throw that out there, but I thought that this was just amazing overall. And I will definitely read volume 2 pretty soon because, like I said, I got my pre-order for that a few days ago. So then after Lore Olympus, I jumped back into my Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. I stopped like right at page 150, read Lore Olympus, and then read the entire second half of this. And I'm giving this 4 stars. I enjoyed it for the most part. I definitely think it delivers on this cozy mystery slash spicy romance vibe. I will say that I kind of think that this was just a teensy bit tame for Tessa Bailey. I usually expect her books to be just a bit spicier. And I don't know. There was definitely a decent amount of spice scenes. There was even a scene in a church. Oops. But yeah, I just wasn't as blown away by the sex scenes in this book as I have been by other books that I've read by her in the past. So yeah, I thought the romance was solid. Again, not my favorite romance by her, but still a really good time. But in terms of the audiobook, I definitely just got more and more used to the male narrator's voice as we went along. I still think he was miscast. I'm not really sure what the audiobook company was thinking when they casted this particular narrator for Miles, but it is what it is. So I definitely think that you would be just fine just reading this physically or just reading the ebook version. So yeah, 4 stars for that. So with that being said, here is the stack of books that I read for this readathon. So I read 6 books total. I don't have a physical copy of That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming, but I absolutely loved that. And then I pretty much enjoyed everything that I read. I mean, yeah, everyone's an alien when you're an alien too. Like, it didn't absolutely blow me away, but it was still adorable, and like, you know, I'm glad that I read it. And I also feel like I read a good variety of things. Like we've got a psychological drama, we've got a couple different kinds of graphic novels. So yeah, I am very, very, very happy with how this 24-hour readathon vlog went. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to discuss any of the books that I brought up in this video, please feel free to leave a comment. I always love having a discussion with you guys in the comments. And with all of that being said, I'm gonna go eat some dinner and probably go to bed pretty shortly and sleep for at least 10 hours. I would love it if you would leave a like and subscribe, and I thank you so much in advance if you do, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!